Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Anuja Kumar and with me is Ramya with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi chairs meeting of Board of Trustees of PM Cares Fund, appreciates people for contributing wholeheartedly to the fund. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar discusses several issues, including Ukraine conflict, with his Turkish counterpart on the sidelines of UN General Assembly in New York. Military mobilization ordered in Russia by President Vladimir Putin for protection of Moscow's territorial integrity. In Iran, protests continue against custodial death of a woman over the hijab issue. Container carrying 22 tons of heroin seized from Nhava Sheva port in Mumbai. Popular comedian Raju Srivastava passes away. Prime Minister and several union ministers express grief at his demise. Met Department forecasts heavy rainfall in Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh and Vidarbha region of Maharashtra during next 2 days. And in women's cricket, second ODI match between India and England to be played at Canterbury this evening. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi chaired a meeting of the Board of Trustees of the PM Cares Fund yesterday. A presentation was made on the various initiatives undertaken with the help of PM Cares Fund, including the PM Cares for Children scheme, which is supporting 4,345 children. Trustees appreciated the role played by the fund at a crucial time for the country. Mr. Modi appreciated the people for contributing wholeheartedly to the PM Cares Fund. It was discussed that PM Cares has a larger vision on effectively responding to emergency and distress situations, not only through relief assistance, but also taking mitigation measures and capacity building. The Prime Minister welcomed the trustees for becoming an integral part of the PM Cares Fund. The meeting was attended by trustees of the PM Cares Fund, the Home Minister, the Finance Minister, the newly nominated trustees of the PM Cares Fund, former Supreme Court Judge Justice K.T. Thomas, former Deputy Speaker Kariya Munda and Chairman Emeritus of Tata Sons Ratan Tata. The Trust further decided to nominate eminent persons for constitution of Advisory Board to PM Cares Fund. They are former Comptroller and Auditor General of India Rajiv Mehrishi, former Chairperson of Infosys Foundation Sudha Murthy, and co-founder of Teach for India and former CEO of India Core and Piramal Foundation Anand Shah. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that participation of new trustees and advisors will provide wider perspectives to the functioning of the PM Cares Fund. He said their vast experience of public life would impart further vigour in making the fund more responsive to various public needs. Russian President Vladimir Putin today ordered the first military mobilization since World War II. He said a partial military mobilization in Russia is sensible and necessary under the circumstances. Mr. Putin stated that he has already signed an order for the call-up to start today. In a rare televised address to the nation this morning, the Russian president said that if the territorial integrity of our country is threatened, we use all available means to protect the people. He accused the West of engaging in nuclear blackmail against Russia and said that the country has lots of weapons to reply. His comments came after the world leaders condemned Russia's plans to hold referendum in 4 areas of Ukraine in the coming days.
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar met Foreign Minister of Turkey Mevlut Çavuşoğlu on the sidelines of the United Nations General Assembly. In a tweet, Dr. Jaishankar said there were wide-ranging conversations that covered the Ukraine conflict, food security, G20 processes, global order, NAM and Cyprus. The External Affairs Minister thanked French President Emmanuel Macron for hosting a high-level cross-regional grouping in New York today. He said the discussions focused on the conflict in Ukraine and its implications for the global south. Dr. Jaishankar said the conversations also covered salience of the G20 in these challenging times. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres has said that the world is in a big trouble and needs collective action across the board. He was addressing the UN General Assembly before the opening of the general debate. The UN chief said crises like the conflict in Ukraine, climate emergency and biodiversity loss and the dire financial situation of the developing countries threaten the very future of humanity and the fate of the planet. He added that the progress on all these issues and more is being held hostage to geopolitical tensions. UN General Assembly President Chaba Qureshi echoed Mr. Guterres' alarm at the global situation. Mr. Qureshi said that a landmark agreement on commercial grain exports from the world's breadbasket offers hope.
Western nations have condemned Moscow's plans to hold urgent referendum in parts of Ukraine that are currently under Russian control. According to media reports, the votes have been called by Russian-backed officials in 4 Ukrainian regions to ask whether they should become a part of Russia. The US, Germany and France have said that they would never recognize the results of such ballots. The US National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said that the US would never recognize the votes. On the other hand, pro-Russian leaders in the 4 Ukrainian regions have supported the referendum. The head of the administration in Luhansk, Leonard Pasechnik, said it was a common dream and a common future. The deputy head of Russia's Security Council, Dmitry Medvedev, said that the votes would restore historical justice and be irreversible. The NATO military alliance said the plan spelled an escalation in the war. Russia plans to run polls for 5 days and it starts on Friday in the eastern regions of Luhansk and Donetsk as well as Zaporizhia and Kherson in the south. Road Transport and Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari said that the government is committed towards transforming India through excellent connectivity and world-class infrastructure, highlighting a few ongoing highway projects. In a series of tweets, Mr. Gadkari informed that the project for 6-lane access-controlled Greenfield Highway from Rajasthan or Gujarat border to Santalpur section of NH 754A is in full swing. The minister added the Amritsar-Jamnagar Economic Corridor in Gujarat is being constructed at a cost of 2,030 crore rupees, aiming at reducing the travel time by 2 hours and travel distance by 60 kilometers. Mr. Gadkari expressed that reduction of pollution level, median and avenue plantation throughout the stretch would enrich the ecosystem and boost SDGs. He also asserted that the stretch would facilitate easy movement to border forces, armed forces and military vehicles in border areas.
Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has called upon the fintech industry to take advantage of specific opportunities in green finance and play their part in building a sustainable financial environment. She also asked fintech players to break the distance barrier and have more engagements with the government and its agencies to enhance trust. Ms. Sitharaman said there are opportunities for fintech players to play the role in a sustainable financial environment and take advantage of the specific opportunities in green finance. Addressing the Global Fintech Fest, she said everyone in the government, whether the Prime Minister, ministers or think tank Niti Aayog, is constantly available for engagement, discussions and exchange of ideas. RBI Governor Shaktikant Das said that the central government is committed to supporting innovation for fintech companies, but not at the cost of consumer interest.
The Reserve Bank of India has removed the Central Bank of India from its prompt corrective action framework after the lender showed improvement in various financial ratios, including minimum regulatory capital and net non-performing assets. The prompt corrective action norm is a supervisory tool and is imposed when a bank breaches certain regulatory thresholds on capital to risk-weighted assets ratio, net NPAs and return on assets. The RBI had imposed the PCA norms on the bank in June 2017 due to its high net NPA and negative return of assets. After reviewing the performance of the Central Bank of India, the RBI decided to remove the restrictions on the bank. The bank has provided a written commitment that it would comply with the norms of minimum regulatory capital, net NPA and leverage ratio on an ongoing basis.
More than 216 crore 95 lakh vaccine doses have been administered in the country so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. The Health Ministry said that in the last 24 hours, over 12 lakh 27,000 doses were administered and over 4,510 new COVID cases were reported in the country. During the period, over 5,000 people have recovered and around 3,39,000 tests were conducted. Popular comedian Raju Srivastav passed away in New Delhi today. He was 58 and took his last breath at the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, AIIMS. Mr. Srivastav was admitted to AIIMS last month after experiencing chest pain. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed sadness at his demise. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said, Raju Srivastav brightened people's lives with laughter, humor and positivity. He said Raju Srivastav has left too soon, but he will continue to live in the hearts of countless people due to his rich work over the years. The Prime Minister expressed condolences to his family and admirers. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, Home Minister Amit Shah and Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur have also expressed grief at the demise of Raju Srivastav. In a tweet, the Defence Minister said that apart from being a seasoned artist, he was also a very wonderful human being. He said Mr. Srivastav was also very active in the social field. The Home Minister said Raju Srivastav's death is a great loss to the art world. He said Mr. Srivastav had a unique style and he impressed everyone with his amazing talent. The I&B Minister said Raju Srivastav was a great artist, a lively person and an inspiration to many artists with his artistic talent. He said Srivastav's passing away is the end of the era of the genre of comedy and it is not possible to fill the void created by his death. President Draupadi Murmu has said that the untimely demise of eminent comedian Raju Srivastav is extremely sad. In a tweet, Ms. Murmu said Raju Srivastav had an uncanny talent to enthrall the audience with his comedic performances. She said due to the influence of Raju Srivastav, the staging of comedy in India got a new identity. Ms. Murmu expressed condolences to the family and fans.
Former Union Minister and former Speaker of Tamil Nadu Assembly S. Muthaiya passed away due to illness in Madurai today. He was 76. Muthaiya served as Union Minister for Surface Transport from 19th March 1998 to 8th of April 1998. He was elected from Periyakulam constituency to the Lok Sabha during the period. He joined the DMK in 2008 and became the office bearer of the DMK electoral wing.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi chairs meeting of Board of Trustees of PM Cares Fund, appreciates people for contributing wholeheartedly to the fund. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar discusses several issues including Ukraine conflict with his Turkish counterpart on the sidelines of UN General Assembly in New York. Military mobilization ordered in Russia by President Vladimir Putin for protection of Moscow's territorial integrity. In Iran, protests continue against custodial death of a woman over the hijab issue. Container carrying 22 tons of heroin seized from Nhava Sheva port in Mumbai. Popular comedian Raju Srivastav passes away. Prime Minister and several union ministers express grief at his demise. Met Department forecasts heavy rainfall in Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh and Vidarbha region of Maharashtra during the next 2 days. And in women's cricket, second ODI match between India and England to be played at Canterbury this evening. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम्स की तैयारी कर रहे हैं आप? तो अभ्यास कार्यक्रम है सिर्फ आपके लिए। ऑल इंडिया रेडियो के इस पेशकश में आपके भेजे सवाल व्हाट्सएप नंबर 9289094044 या ईमेल abhyas.airnews@gmail.com का जवाब एक्सपर्ट देंगे शनिवार रात 9:30 बजे। इस वर्ग का विषय है भूगोल, फिजिकल ज्योग्राफी एंड मॉनसून। प्रश्न 21 सितंबर तक हमें प्राप्त होने चाहिए। आपका अभ्यास हमारा प्रयास।
आकाशवाणी आपके लिए लेकर आया है कार्यक्रम एक कदम और बुजुर्गों के लिए हर रविवार रात 9:30 बजे FM गोल्ड पर। रविवार 25 सितंबर को प्रसारित होने वाले कार्यक्रम का विषय है बुजुर्गों की सुरक्षा। आप अपने सवाल हमें इस नंबर पर भेज सकते हैं 9289094044। आप इस पते पर हमें ईमेल भी कर सकते हैं एक कदम और airnews@gmail.com।
Welcome back to the Midday News on All India Radio. In one of the biggest seizures of heroin, a container having more than 20 tons of licorice coated with heroin was seized from Nhava Sheva port in Mumbai. Briefing media in New Delhi, Special Commissioner of Delhi Police Special Cell, H.G.S. Dhaliwal said the total quantity of heroin coated on licorice weighing 22 tons and the value of the heroin seized is 1,725 crore rupees in international market. He said the container was transported to Delhi. Mr. Dhaliwal said this seizure indicates how narco-terror is impacting our country and international players are using different methodologies to push drugs into our country. Enforcement Directorate or ED carried out search operations under the provisions of the Prevention of Money Laundering Act PMLA in Arunachal Pradesh in respect of an investigation relating to the Trans-Arunachal Highway project. It has freezed bank accounts, recurring deposit and fixed deposit having a balance of 3.95 crore rupees. The agency initiated money laundering investigation on the basis of FIR registered by Special Investigation Cell Vigilance, Itanagar, Arunachal Pradesh under various sections of Indian Penal Code and Prevention of Corruption Act. The FIR revealed that some government officials in conspiracy with some private individuals misappropriated the funds of compensation for the affected persons or beneficiaries of Trans-Arunachal Highway project. Investigation by ED has revealed that multiple fake beneficiaries were created by some government officials in connivance with private individuals to cause wrongful gain to themselves and wrongful loss to government exchequer. The investigation has further established that part of the proceeds of crime so generated by the accused persons were routed through several banks' accounts and fixed deposits.
Veteran Assamese swimmer Elvis Ali Hazarika has become the first from the northeast to cross the North Channel. The North Channel is the strait between northeastern Northern Ireland and southwestern Scotland. Elvis and his team clocked a timing of 14 hours and 38 minutes to achieve this feat. With this, Elvis has become the oldest Indian swimmer to cross the North Channel. In Rajasthan, the Animal Husbandry Department is emphasizing speeding up the vaccination of goat pox to control the lumpy skin disease. Agriculture and Animal Husbandry Minister Lal Chand Kataria said that after the end of the rainy season, the infection of this disease is expected to be controlled. Mr. Kataria said that the state government is taking all necessary steps to control lumpy skin disease as per the advisory of the Government of India. He told that the new variant of this disease is also a cause for concern. More from our correspondent.
The outbreak of lumpy skin disease was first spread in Jodhpur and Bikaner divisions in the state. A large number of cattle have died due to this disease in all the districts of these divisions. Gradually, the infection of this disease is spread to all the districts except Bara district of Kota division. Animal Husbandry Department claims that now there has been a decrease in the death of cattle in Jodhpur and Bikaner divisions. However, now the outbreak is more in the districts of Jaipur division. Due to the disease, the collection of milk has also decreased in many districts of the state. Jitendra Dwivedi, AIR News, Jaipur.
A two-day session of Gujarat Assembly commenced today amid protest by opposition parties over various issues including inflation and revival of old pension scheme. On the first day of the session, the House unanimously withdrew Gujarat Cattle Control in Urban Areas Bill that was passed in April for tackling the stray cattle menace in the cities. Earlier in question hours, the members of opposition parties stormed into the well and raised slogans against the government over various issues, including agitation of state government employees, revival old pension scheme, and fixed pay, among others. The Speaker, Nima Ben Acharya, suspended more than 10 protesting opposition members from attending the proceedings of the House for the day. Our correspondent reports that opposition members staged a walkout over the suspension of the members. Over the past 75 years since independence, India's largest public service broadcaster, All India Radio, has been the proverbial storyteller for crores of people across the country. All India Radio is celebrating 75 years of freedom with a series, Azad Bharat Ki Baat, Akashvani Ke Saath. It showcases the journey of India since independence in various walks of life through the storytelling of All India Radio. In today's episode, we will bring you the story of government schemes which played significant role in upliftment and empowerment of masses.
Over the years, the Government of India has introduced a number of schemes that have not only helped Indian citizens improve their financial situations, but have also contributed to the country's economy. These schemes and measures include National Social Assistance Scheme, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, Swachh Bharat Mission, Ayushman Bharat Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban, Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, PM Kisan Scheme, Prime Minister Street Vendors Atmanirbhar Nidhi Scheme, National Livelihood Mission Ajivika and Ayushman Bharat Yojana. National Social Assistance Scheme was launched in 1995 to provide financial assistance to the elderly, widows and people with disabilities in the form of social pensions. Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act 2005 is an Indian labour law and social security measure that aims to guarantee the right to work. The Union government is now aiming to use MG Narega work towards making a self-sustainable village which could generate income to farmers as well. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has launched several schemes to accelerate the pace of reform and transform the lives of the people in the country. Swachh Bharat Mission is a country-wide campaign initiated in 2014 to eliminate open defecation and improve solid waste management. Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana is a national mission for financial inclusion, particularly to provide access to financial services at affordable rates. It was announced on the eve of Independence Day in 2014 by Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
भारत की आजादी के बाद गरीब से गरीब की व्यक्ति का देश की आर्थिक मुख्य धारा से जुड़ना ये अपने आप में बहुत बड़ा अचीवमेंट है। उसने फाइनेंशियल वर्ल्ड में एक नया विश्वास पैदा किया है और एक नई दिशा का संकेत दिया है। देश का गरीब जीरो बैलेंस अकाउंट खोलने के बावजूद भी 14,000 करोड़ रुपया बैंक में जमा करता है। उससे बड़ी गरीबों की अमीरी नहीं हो सकती। अगर इसको एक हम ताकत समझे और ये जो उनके संस्कार हैं, उनकी मनोवैज्ञानिक भूमिका है, जो उनके मन के आदर्श हैं, ये भी राष्ट्र की एक बहुत बड़ी ताकत होते हैं। हमें उसको नर्चर करना चाहिए।
Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban Mission, launched on 25th June 2015, intends to provide housing for all in urban areas by the year 2022. Under the Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao campaign, Sukanya Samriddhi scheme was launched on 22nd January 2015. The aim of this scheme is to meet the education and marriage expenses of a girl child. Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana is designed for providing loans up to 10 lakh rupees to the non-corporate, non-farm, small and micro enterprises. Under the Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana, the government aimed to safeguard the health of women and children by providing them with clean cooking fuel. PM Kisan is a central sector scheme launched on the 24th of February 2019 to supplement financial needs of landholding farmers. Atal Pension Yojana aims at delivering old age income security, particularly to the workers in the unorganized sector. Prime Minister Street Vendors Atmanirbhar Nidhi aims to provide affordable working capital loan to street vendors to resume their livelihoods that have been adversely affected due to COVID-19 lockdown. Ayushman Bharat Yojana is a health protection scheme which provides health insurance to the citizens of India. Under this scheme, insurance coverage of up to 5 lakh rupees on a family floater basis is provided to the beneficiaries every year. These steps aim to educate and empower masses economically by providing them with quality education and gainful employment opportunities. Various schemes are being implemented for development of scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, minorities and other groups.
In some foreign news, in Iran, women have been burning hijabs or headscarves in protest of the death in custody of a woman who was detained by morality police for breaking hijab laws. Demonstrations have continued for 5 successive nights and reached several towns and cities. According to media reports, protests broke out in western Iran on Saturday at the funeral of a young woman, Mahsa Amini, who died in hospital on Friday after spending 3 days in a coma. A large number of people was seen cheering as women set their hijabs alight in defiant act of protest in Tehran's Sari. Videos posted on social media showed protesters shouting anti-government slogans after gathering in Saqqez, the hometown of Mahsa. Mahsa Amini was arrested in the capital last week by Iran's morality police. She was accused of breaking the law requiring women to cover their hair with a hijab and their arms and legs with loose clothing. She fell into a coma shortly after collapsing at a detention center. Iranian authorities have launched a probe into her death. The World Bank Vice President for South Asia, Martin Reza, called on Bangladesh Finance Minister A.H.M. Mustafa Kamal in Dhaka yesterday. Martin Reza reached Bangladesh on Monday on a 3-day visit. The Finance Minister called the World Bank an important development partner of Bangladesh. He thanked the World Bank for its support to various projects of the government in health, education, power, disaster management and other sectors. He gave special thanks to the World Bank for its budgetary support during the COVID-19 pandemic. A United Nations report claims that Venezuelan Security Service under the direction of President Nicolas Maduro has committed crimes against humanity in an effort to quash political opposition in the country. The report, compiled by the UN's Independent International Fact-Finding Mission on Venezuela, outlines the extensive use of arbitrary arrest and torture in Venezuela since 2014.
Indian Met Department has forecast very heavy rainfall in Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh and Vidarbha region of Maharashtra during the next 2 days. The IMD said a low-pressure area lies over northwest Bay of Bengal and adjoining North Odisha West Bengal coasts. The IMD has also forecast heavy rainfall and thunderstorms in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh over the coming few days under its influence. Isolated heavy showers are also expected in Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Arunachal Pradesh, Assam and Meghalaya during the next 2 days. Meanwhile, southwest monsoon has withdrawn from parts of southwest Rajasthan and adjoining Kutch region of Gujarat. In Kerala, the authorities have warned people living along the downstream areas of the Parambikulam Dam and the banks of Chalakudi River to remain alert as excess water is being released from the dam due to a mechanical failure of one of its shutters. About 20,000 cusecs of water is now being released from the dam. Authorities have begun evacuating tribals living close to the dam as a precautionary measure.
In women's cricket, the second one-day international between India and England will be played at St. Lawrence Ground, Canterbury this evening. The match will start at 5:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. India is already up 1-0 in the 3-match series with an emphatic 7-wicket win against the hosts. With a target of 228 runs set by England in the first ODI on Sunday, India surpassed the target for the loss of only 3 wickets in just 44.2 overs. Smriti Mandhana led India with 91 runs, while skipper Harmanpreet Kaur scored an unbeaten 74 runs. The third and final ODI match will be played on Saturday at the Lords.
In our bilingual live phone-in program Swasth Bharat, Dr. Rajendra Dhamija, Director of Institute of Human Behavior and Allied Sciences, New Delhi, will be with us tonight to answer the queries of the listeners on mental health and Alzheimer's disease-related issues. Listeners can ask questions to the expert from 9:30 p.m. on our telephone number 011-2342-1230. You can also post your queries on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts by the hashtag AskAIR. World Alzheimer's Day is being observed today. Alzheimer's disease is the most common form of dementia. It is a progressive brain disease which results in loss of memory and thinking skills. It destroys the brain cells, which causes memory loss, memory changes, erratic behavior, and loss of body functions. This year, the theme for World Alzheimer's Month 2022 is No Dementia, No Alzheimer's.
Now let's have a look at the weather update across the country today. National capital Delhi will have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain accompanied with gusty wind. Mumbai will have rain or thunder showers would occur towards afternoon or evening. Chennai will have thunderstorm with rain. Kolkata will have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi chairs meeting of Board of Trustees of PM Cares Fund, appreciates people for contributing wholeheartedly to the fund. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar discusses several issues, including Ukraine conflict, with his Turkish counterpart on the sidelines of UN General Assembly in New York. Military mobilization ordered in Russia by President Vladimir Putin for protection of Moscow's territorial integrity. In Iran, protests continue against custodial death of a woman over the hijab issue. Container carrying 22 tons of heroin seized from Nhava Sheva port in Mumbai. Popular comedian Raju Srivastav passes away. President, Prime Minister and several union ministers express grief at his demise. Met Department forecasts heavy rainfall in Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh and Vidarbha region of Maharashtra during next 2 days. And in women's cricket, second ODI match between India and England to be played at Canterbury this evening. And with that, we end the midday news.